Welcome to the Marketing Madmen. Nick Constantino here. I got a special guest, Southside Steve. Southside, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. I guess I should say, yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. All right, so we are actually at an event. We're at Solomon Brothers right now. We're about to go do a watch event. But I figured what better time to pour a little cup of whiskey. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
We're going to talk radio. We're going to talk the good old days. We're going to have some fun conversations. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen tonight because we're about to just go check out Bourbon and Watches, which is like heaven on earth.
Watches and bourbon.
That's it. That's all you got. We're throwing it up. I got my Braves World Series ring on, so you know it's a special night.
I wondered. I saw that. I'm like, I don't remember Nick playing for the Braves, but maybe he did for a season.
But it's got my name on it, so it's that special.
That's nice.
All right, so Steve, let's do. You've been a radio guy your whole life.
Yeah, man.
I've been an advocate. I love radio. It has built this business at Solomon Brothers, but we're on radio right now. Talk a little bit about. I don't want to go too far because if we start talking about the glory days,
we won't go too deep.
We'll need 14 of these to tell the real stories. But talk about what made you fall in love with radio, what you loved about it, and then we're going to go to what the F went wrong with it.
Yeah, no, well, that's a good point because things have gone wrong. No, for me, it was accidental. I was working at the airlines. I had been playing amateur soccer, and I was getting paid to play. I was a first division player, semi-pro level, and that's where my head was. And I'm like, well, I've got to go to school. So I was attending classes at Georgia State.
Yeah.
And my whole life, everybody's always said, dude, you should be a comedian. You should be a comedian.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'll get on the radio at Georgia State just to get used to being on the microphone. So I do that. And next thing I know, I'm in sales when I kind of was still playing soccer, but I needed to make some cash.
Sure.
So I was a sales guy for an ad agency.
It wasn't even the professional soccer players weren't making money then. Not in this country.
Nobody making money. No, it was embarrassing money. But I had a day gig that I could work my own hours, and I was selling advertising. Well, I get a client that wants to advertise on 96 Rock. It's a bungee jump client. So I said, far out, let's do it.
Yeah, those days have changed. There's no more bungee
There's no more bungee jumping. I did it. It was crazy. Don't you do that, kids.
I will not tell the full story. I will tell it offline, but I will say I was in Mexico, and I was on an illicit substance. I won't go into too much detail that I should not have been bungee jumping on.
Hold on.
But I had already traded my Nikes for a pair of gold sunglasses.
Ooh.
So I figured nothing else could go wrong this day. No. So I went bungee jumping.
Why not?
We'll leave it at
there.
Carry on.
But I go in and my talent voice doesn't come. So the guy's like, well, do you just want to do it? So I did it. And he goes, hey, you're pretty good at this. Have you ever even considered radio? I go, well, I'm on 88.5. He goes, what? Next thing I know, I turn in my tapes. Next thing I know, I'm doing weekends
just
on
like
96 Rock. And then with my sales background, I become morning show producer. And it turned out it fitted me like a glove. Fit me like a glove. I can't believe I said fitted. Whatever. It fitted me. Where would I be from? Boston? Or no, is that Bronx?
No,
fitted me.
Yeah, there you go.
It fitted me. So I get into it and I realized that everything I had done from direct sales to advertising sales to being a comedian and being that cut up in the classroom fit perfect for radio. And my personality became that of Southside Steve after I told a story.
Yeah.
And I said, my cousins are all from Dunwoody, uppity dudes. I grew up in College Park, and they like to criticize me. They call me Southside. And when I told that story, Christopher Rude throws it on. Next thing you know, I've done Rude, I've done John Boy and Billy, I've done the regular guys, and I've been doing radio now for 33 years in Atlanta.
And so there's a couple of things to unpack there. One, I can't tell you how many people that I've met in the industry, and again, it's because I'm in the industry, they got their start in college radio, and especially Georgia State. No, because for whatever reason, that was the one.
It's 100,000 watts. Did you know that?
Signal.
It was huge. It was only 3 in the country.
And I'm not saying I don't want to be an NPR guy, but when they went NPR, they sold out. You could program a station. There are people that would listen if you went. College radio is still a genre these days. People 100%. Love that music, and they play it. They'll go to jazz. They'll do stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
But number two, that's how everybody starts in the industry. So I started because my best friend. I was living in Vegas. I worked for a valet car company.
Why does that not surprise me?
It's going to get crazier. And then my buddy he flew down. We started a personal chef company. It was the best deal ever. We cooked at the Sundance Film Festival, the Billboard Music Awards. I had no culinary background, but we were getting really good at working these private events. My buddy comes down. We're cooking at Sundance. We're in Utah, and he come down. So he was coming to move. He stopped in Sundance. We cooked.
That's awesome.
Then we're going back, and the next 1 week later, the guy that we had partnered with for business stole the money and disappeared. Okay, so we're stuck in Vegas.
I hate thieves.
So he starts getting with this morning show called Gonzo in the Morning. It was on Riverside, whatever it is, broadcasting, alternative rock station. And he was on it, got on the station, eventually was producing the morning show. And the manager got to me and he's like, dude, we met a couple times, like, you should sell radio.
You should
so
sell
I
it.
came on and sold radio, and it was my 4th day on. They were doing a gag, and we did a habanero eating contest. And he ate one. I ate 8 habaneros with on an empty stomach at 8 o'clock in the morning, completely fine, until, honestly, about an hour later, I was driving in my car, and it all just
hit?
Yeah, so
did you pull over to the side of the road and just do
I kept going, man. I just kept going.
I'll go home. I'll do
Vegas. It was worse outside. It was like 140 degrees outside.
I'll do it in my pants.
It was but anyway, I love those radio stories, and that's how radio started. But like, look, so like most great things, the business and the capitalism and the bureaucracy of it has destroyed it.
It's killed it.
It's killed it. And like, I'm going to go from the business side of what I've learned, what the problems are. And obviously, you got a great gig now. You're with a good family who gets it. They're local. They're not worried about corporations.
No.
But like, we could fuck with
independent radio is almost the place you need to find yourself
That's
if you want to do old school radio, because it's the FCC. You don't deal with giant corporate rules or woke rules.
And it's not even my problem with it is that the radio was built to provide an advertising medium for local businesses.
100%.
It's easy to turn around.
Yes.
It's connection to the community, and that's what it was built on. But if you're taking the ad rates for Coca-Cola at 10 cents a pop, you're going to destroy the inventory to put the burden, switch it from the people who can afford it to the
Right.
people who can, and that's how they run business. And that is my frustration is, what about the little guy? Where is the medium for them anymore? Let me tell you, as someone who's been doing social media now, the biggest racket scam in this world is what Meta has been allowed to do, that they are telling people, which is advertising.
Right.
When you factor in the bots, when you factor in all the stuff, the engagement's garbage, there's no connection to the community. The people who buy on social media feel like they're dirty for even being on social media nowadays. So, and it's not a criticism, it's just an observation. And I can say it because we spend a lot of money in social media, and I'm just unwrapping these layers. But
it's tough. And I'll be honest with you, something I'll say too as an endorser, I will not endorse something unless I believe in it. And it's very tough for me. But I know in this industry, doing what we're doing with Solomon Brothers, you being here now and me being here now, for me, I looked into it. I see how this business is going to evolve over the next 20 years. I see locally 2 businesses that come from dads, sons running it, how one is going to really evolve and how one is just not. And I realize it's all about the price, it's all about the quality, and it's all about the business being there behind it. And this is the place to be. Solomon Brothers is definitely the place to be. My whole life got flipped upside down. It gave me a chance to reassess, look at things.
But times have changed.
And times have changed.
Right. The COVID, there's so many pivots. There's generational wealth being put down.
Oh, 100%.
And what I'll say is the oddest thing for me is what radio was so good at was establishing trust and rapport.
Yeah.
We do things, we do cleanings, right? We're at very prominent places, and they're like, what do you mean you're doing a free cleaning? Right? Okay, so like I was lucky enough earlier this week to go on with Cellini and Domino to do a business of sports on the radio, right?
Those two hot messes.
And we're talking, and we go and we talk. We have our usual conversation, usually about my gigantic head of hair, their baldness. But they go, hey, and you got bars at all store? I go, yeah, because if you're drunk, you'll buy more. Yeah. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, like, that's the most honest thing anyone's ever said. I go, I take a step back and I go, wait, I don't understand. If you have a great experience here, you are going to buy more. Why is that dirty word to say?
It's not.
Why is it a dirty word to say that if we clean your jewelry for free, you're more likely to shop with us? The problem is that trust has been eroded. People think everything is a scam. And I am telling you.
And people are sellouts.
And they're sellouts. And I'm telling you, when we give something away on social media, I will do my best to get that person to allow me to put their picture on social media to show they won. Like, it is
like
not,
you're a real person.
It is not in my business. It's not in my job. If I want a long-term brand, which we've built and that's built to be screwing people, because then I'm just a flash in the pan, ROI-driven brand. And like, there's plenty of those right now. I deal with them every day. But if you don't want to be one, there's something about the line between trust, authenticity, and just being fun and who you are that I think is eroded. And I think that represents pretty well what happened to radio.
No, I agree. And I'm hoping these corporations lose a lot of these stations and people, small business owners, buy them up and it starts doing what it should have done. I'm hoping it literally flips back. There's a chance because some of these companies, their stock isn't even worth less than $1. One I won't get into that I used to work for is being kicked
less than $1.
Well, they're being kicked off NASDAQ tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
And that's after doing a 10-to-1 reverse split to take their 10-cent stock to get it to $1, and then it dropped again.
And it dropped again.
And again, so to be clear, my issue
Very
is
clear.
never with the industry or the people in it, because they are some of the most unique genuinely awesome people that I have ever met in my life.
They're individuals.
They're different, they're quirky is a nice way to say it. Like, look,
there's some nerds, there's some normal, there's some jockocracy.
Completely, but they're all different, and because you're so on top of each other in running a business, you learn things, and the people you think are nerds are actually some of the coolest, and the people you think are the coolest are some of the biggest nerds, and that's what life should be. So, and look, it's not, this is not an infomercial for Solomon Brothers. This is not a commercial. We didn't even know what the F we were talking about. We just literally walked in and we started talking. So,
I came here for bourbon and watches.
There you go.
And I got to tell you, this location is great in Buckhead. This is my first time in this location. I've hit the Alpharetta and the Southside location. I have never been in here. And it's kind of cool how the elevators work, how you get scanned in. The view is incredible.
Cool?
I love the view and I love the bar. And in every bar at Solomon Brothers, there's going to be a bottle of Yeah Come On Bourbon whiskey, which is my bourbon. It's an 80 proof. This ain't an 80 proof, but hey, I know what mine tastes like.
There it is. Yeah, and look, what I tell people is like, how many retail locations are in the sky? Right, we're 17 floors up in a skyscraper. Like, that is the first starting point, because they're like, go on. Like, because there's so much more to the business. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But we're doing this bourbon event, and the reason we're doing this watching bourbon event, and everyone's like, well, what's the catch? And I'm like, guys, for the love of God,
buy a
you
watch,
guys are
drink
watch
bourbon.
People. Don't even buy. Just talk about watches. Just get together.
Get educated.
Get together. Educate me. Some people are going to walk in with watches. We have one of the guys that's coming in. I got to take him to a Braves game. He was wearing an AP, an Amirs Peugeot, a black on black carbon, like just aspirationally. Like, look, I know my cards in life. Maybe one day, but I doubt it. Like, there's $90,000 watches just isn't in the plan.
Nick, I just want to take this moment to say never say never.
I didn't say never. I said probably not.
Okay.
But that kind of stuff, that's what we're trying to do. It's irreverent content. Like, this is going to be cut up to short form. It's going to be a podcast. It's not enough of this being done. Everything has a scam. Everyone's cutting. The worst thing, you go on social media, everything's got a quick edit because no one can do this off of the top of their head. And that's such a shame.
And that's what we can do.
That's what radio is.
Do you know I'm doing something right now? I've only done it twice. Instead of doing stand-up, I call it sit-down with Southside, because I'm just sitting in a chair just for 2.5 minutes venting.
That's it. And it's a vent, and it's about what's really on the. But again, I will
it's
say.
It's all real. My wife might leave me. No,
well,
then I'm too hot.
Then he'll have even more to talk about. So that's how it goes. Then he'll find the struggle. That's when he'll really find himself.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the nature of radio, and everyone's got the backstories, and they've handled adversity, and like the kids that are coming out nowadays aren't built for radio either.
No,
because
they don't have thick skin.
They don't have thick skin, and because their whole life is on social media, the stories that they tell lose the value because it's all been documented.
So I was sitting on my phone and I was looking at my phone, and I don't want to talk about your phone. I want to know what you did without your phone. I want to know you did something that nobody filmed. And
the best part is that there's something about, I guess, it's not a generational thing, but like, yeah, the stories that I tell have probably been grossly exaggerated because there was no documentation. And if you have 8 people hammered that have to combine their night to make a story, of course it's going to be a different story. So yes, they exaggerate because in your brain, you're thinking of the story, telling it over and over, and all you're working on is that visual memory of it happening. There's no pictures. There's no post to look back at. So not a criticism, young people. Listen to the show. Come shop at Solomon Brothers. But and
drink Yeah Come On Bourbon. And give me a shot, too. Independent radio, Fox FM. It's the Southside Ride Morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Go to the app, My Fox FM.
So let's hit that. So just give a quick 2-minute. What do you like about that? What do you like about being, again, like it's the underdog story, right? You're not Metro Atlanta. You're trying to creep your way up there. You're reaching. You're going with multiple signals. All the things that makes it fun, and you're bootstrapping, which is nice. So what do you like about that?
Well, what I like about it is the fact that I've gone back to the old school radio where it all started with probably the 2 best morning shows I was ever on, and I'll give regular guys probably the number 1. The things we were doing and saying were unheard of. Topless interns, unheard of. For 3 years we had that. It was the Wild West. So for us, I don't need to go to that extent. I'm not walking up to that line, but I get to obey the FCC rules. That's it. I don't deal with any corporate stuff. The other thing is I can kind of do what I want to do. I'm my own boss. It's independent radio. I do have a program director. There are rules, and I deal with it. But the good news is I can go out. I can actually meet people. I can sell if I would like and bring in clients. I can help orchestrate the deal. I don't have my hands tied of what it's going to look like and how much they have to spend. Because as he said, some of these companies don't have it. So we're going to work out a program where it only costs you $1,000 a month or maybe $2,000. I may only do $400 talent fee, or I may do $800 talent fee, depending on what you expect of me. But it's always wide open. We work with you and your situation, because we want to help you. We're
Which
coming.
is the anti-corporate radio.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is tell you you're buying radio and then shove digital down your throat because their corporate
Always.
overlords tell them that they want to be a
Always.
digital company.
No.
So, yeah.
But I don't get paid the same. I get paid a third, but I'm working up. And I'll be honest with you, I can even tell you, I was making great money, and now I've kind of gotten over a third back, a little more than a third, but it's been the hustle. And I respect it. Scares my wife. I don't have the benefits, but I've never been happier.
You're not the first person to have an industry destroyed before their eyes that saw the money that they made disappear, that has to bootstrap it and make it Mac, but it will make you stronger for it. And one of the things I'll tell people, don't give up on radio.
No,
please do not. Do not. It doesn't matter if you meet two douchebags that are the wrong guys or douche girls that you're. I don't know if they're the
There
same
are douche
thing.
girls.
I guess so, but don't let that be the thing. Meet the right people. Invest in it. It is the best method of brand storytelling out there. Let me promise you something. You can make as many videos for your company as you want. Nobody freaking cares. Get a captive audience on radio with 20,000 people listening to be a good storyteller. That's what it is. It connects with the community. So use radio. Listen to Southside.
I just started in Columbus. I start on the north side June 1st on 100.9.
Love it. Come shop at Solomon Brothers. This has just been pure irreverence from Southside and Nick. You've been listening to the Marketing Madmen or some version of it.
Whoa.
We'll catch you next time.